Well, I have had some help and all, but I de-weeded. We did actually tilled up this whole area here. And this is a little vegetable garden that I made for Miss Savannah. There's a little bunch of flowers on the edges there. Although I accidentally bought annuals, they'll still be pretty for a year. So this is the sprinklers. And what they do is there's a black piece of tubing, and then each one of these guys sprays. Okay? So it's kind of micro watering, you know. It puts it more close to where you want it. Doesn't have as much waste. Okay, and so then, you know, here we are. Obviously, nothing's perfect. It's just better than it was. And okay, so here is the terracing, and it goes 3 levels. And I've got it sprinkling, but it's also sharing with the garden right now, just for the purposes of a video. And so I thought, you know, that this is the end result, and everybody's getting a little drink. So a bit of an improvement, I would have to say. So this is underneath here is a 55-gallon plastic barrel, and it has the gutter going into it. You can see the downspout. And then whenever when it rains hard, it's going to be overflowing, and that thing pops up and lets any excess just pour out instead of not knowing what to do with itself. And of course, here's my little watery guys, making all these happy people happy, getting all very wet. But underneath the earth, excuse me for the flip, okay, underneath the ground, this little white pipe here, eventually, well, it goes into the bottom of the barrel. And so it seems a little bit hard to, I can show pictures of it, but the level is that it's about, I think I've got about 16 inches of water that stays in the barrel, and it drools out of there, and whenever it's raining, it'll pour out of there, so forth and so on and so forth. There's another one down here for the other barrel, and so we're coming up on it right now. Eventually what they'll do is I'll connect these 2 guys together, and then left and right all the way, and it'll be an 80-foot long piece of pipe that's got holes drilled in it, and it'll drool out when it rains. There's the pop-up for the overflow of the other barrel. So we're just having a big old time here at Miss Savannah's. These guys back here are knockout roses and various perennials. These guys are annuals. They're akin to hibiscus, which we're going to dye. These are pansies, and these are called drift roses. So they're going to fall over the wall and lay down. They'll go all the way to the street, and they'll bloom all summer. This stuff here, I'll show you a picture when it's mature, but it's a vine type thing, and it'll just fit full, and it's going to fall over the wall as well. So I guess that's basically the project. I was standing over here the other day, or a little while ago, and I found that this angle over here does good things. So it gives you a pretty nice overview of what we got, I think. I'll have to find some before pictures because it did look a little rough. But there's going to be a deck. Well, there is a deck here, Randall. We left some really tall posts to put in an arbor. Dominic, the builder's going to come out and do that. And then I've got a zone here that I made for what I call the yard zone. But I have just run out of time, and the heads can be put on at some point. I dropped some grass seed on the ground, and I've got about 5 zones here, and we can get them to doing whatever they need to do. If we don't sprinkle, that'd be all right. There's a nice azalea here that bloomed real pretty back in the spring. But the problem with azaleas, they only bloom once a year. But it's a pretty cool light fixture that I picked up for Savannah. I think it's cool. Well, you know, basically I find them online and I say, what do you think? And she says, I love it, Dad. So that's about it, y'all. This is the very large pecan tree. We've decided that must be at least 150 years old. And it will fall on the house during a hurricane, but can't have everything. And that is that. With that, I will say adieu.